So let's start the class. This is actually our third class on functions. Uh, we were discussing about functions, and we know that a function in C programming is a piece of code, and it has its own signature. That is, we know how we can define a function, how we can invoke a function, or how we can call a function, and if needed, how we can define the prototype of the function. So all these things we have seen, and then we have seen the various uh, argument passing mechanism to a function. Uh, Basically, what we have seen is the pass by value pass-by-value mechanism for argument passing or parameter passing in a function in C program. And finally, we have seen different types of variables. We had global variables. Uh, Global variables are shared across function, and then we had local variables. Local variables are local to that particular function only. So these are the different things that we have seen so far about functions, and also we have developed a few functions. Now, in today's class, let's see more about uh, the arguments to a function. For example, let me write a small function here. I have hash include stdio.h. Then I am defining a function here. Bo is probably foo. This foo is like a toy function in any programming language. Say here I am passing two arguments, or better, I will define a proper function, something like int I say int a comma int b, and the purpose is to add two numbers which are passed as the variables a and b. So what I do is I perform something like a return a plus b, right? And then I have the main function in main or void main, whatever. Main, here I am declaring two variables, something like say int x assigns 10, y assigns 20. Then what I do is printf percentage d backslash 10. I am printing the result, or I am printing the value returned by this add function with the parameters x and y. Right? Finally, as I have defined it as in main, I need to provide a return 0. Otherwise, if it was void main, I could have avoided this statement. So this is actually a function that I have defined in a C program. The name of the function is add. So this is the place that we call function definition. And this is the place what we call, here you can see this add, and this is called function calling or function invocation. So here in both sorry, in both these cases you can see that we have got parameters. In the function calling part, or in this part, we have the variables x and y, and these parameters are called actual parameters. The parameters which are used at the time of function calling are called actual parameters. And here you have the parameters a and b, and these are the parameters which are used at the time of defining a function, and these are called formal parameters. So you have formal parameters and you have actual parameters. So formal parameters mean the arguments which are used at the time of defining a function, and actual parameters, I mean the values which are actually passed, right? So these are called actual parameters. Actual parameters are those parameters which are used at the time of calling or invoking a function. So this type of difference you need to you have to understand. We have formal parameters and we have actual parameters. So do you understand the difference between formal parameters and actual parameters? Shall I check your chat window? Just a moment, I will be back. ടീച്ചറെ ഇത്തിരി ശബ്ദം കുറച്ച് സംസാരിക്കൂ. Okay, I hope everyone has got what these actual parameters and formal parameters are, right? Okay, so that is something that that is to be understood along with these functions. Now I have one more thing that that is to be explained. That is the definition എന്ന് വെച്ച് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഫംഗ്ഷനെ കോൾ ചെയ്യുന്ന സമയത്ത് പാസ് ചെയ്യുന്ന പാരാമീറ്റേഴ്സിനെ ആക്ച്വൽ പാരാമീറ്റേഴ്സ്, ആക്ച്വലി പാസ് ചെയ്യുന്ന പാരാമീറ്റേഴ്സ്, അതിനെ ആക്ച്വൽ പാരാമീറ്റേഴ്സ് എന്ന് പറയും. ഫോർമൽ പാരാമീറ്റേഴ്സ് എന്ന് വെച്ച് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഫംഗ്ഷൻ ഡിഫൈൻ ചെയ്യുന്ന സമയത്ത് നമ്മൾ കൊടുക്കുന്ന പാരാമീറ്റേഴ്സിനെയാണ് നമ്മൾ, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ആർഗ്യുമെന്റ്സിനെയാണ് നമ്മൾ ഫോർമൽ പാരാമീറ്റേഴ്സ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. നമ്മൾ ഫോർമലി, ഫോർ എക്സാമ്പിൾ, another example may be something like say I have probably int add int a int b, say return a plus b, റൈറ്റ്? ഇത് ഇവിടുത്തെ കേസിൽ ഇനി void main അകത്ത് എനിക്ക് എത്ര തവണ വേണമെങ്കിലും ഈ ഫംഗ്ഷനെ വിളിക്കാൻ പറ്റും. ഫോർ എക്സാമ്പിൾ I do something like printf %d \n add 10,20 printf %d \n add probably 100,200. So ഈ കേസിലെല്ലാം say these a and b, these are the parameters which are used at the time of defining a function, and these are called formal parameters. അപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ ഫംഗ്ഷനെ ഫോർമലി ഡിഫൈൻ ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്ന പാരാമീറ്റേഴ്സിനെ ഫോർമൽ പാരാമീറ്റേഴ്സ് എന്ന് പറയും. ആൻഡ് ഫംഗ്ഷനെ ആക്ച്വലി ഇൻവോക്ക് ചെയ്യുമ്പം യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്ന ഫംഗ്ഷൻസിനെ യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്ന പാരാമീറ്റേഴ്സിനെ 10, 20, 100, 200, these are all called actual parameters. അത് മനസ്സിലായോ? Shall I move forward? Okay, thank you. Okay. Now the next thing is the return statement in C. We know that the return statement in C is used for returning a value from function to another. That is why we are using return statement. The purpose is to return a value from a function to another. This return statement I can actually associate it with the mathematical notation. For example, I have a function like say this is a set A and this is a set B, and I have something like 1, 2, 3, etc. Some 100, and here what I am doing is 1 is associated with the 1, 2 is associated with the 4, 3 is associated with the 9, and 100 is associated with some 10,000. This is basically the square function, right? This is a square function. And if I call this function as f, then I know that f of 1 is in fact 1, f of 2 is 4, f of 3 is 9, etc. f of 100 is 10,000, right? And here, if I pass the argument as 1, then the return value will be 1. If I pass the argument as 2, the return value will be 4. If I pass the argument as 3, the return value will be 9. That is why when we convert this to standard C program, we write the function like this. So int, say f is the name of the function and it is accepting a parameter, probably int a, and what I am doing is I am returning the square of the value which is passed to this function. Square of the value is a times a, right? So that is why we use this return statement. Uh, but there is a question, how many values a function can actually return? Uh, the answer is that a function can return only one value at a time. A function cannot actually return multiple values. In fact, there is a mechanism to return multiple values that we will understand when we learn about pointers. But in essence, or for the time being, we learned that a function can return only one value in a program. Sorry, a function can return yeah, only one value. Then you may wonder whether we can use multiple return statements in a program. So let me write a program like this. Uh, so the program can do something like say int foo, say int x. Then what I do is I perform return x times x. Then I do something. I make a statement like a printf uh, function over function over backslash n, right? Then I have the void main. Then what I do is I invoke a statement like printf percentage d backslash n ef foo of probably 10. So what should be the output of this program? What will be the output? Can you write in the chat window? Yeah, it is 100 function. Okay, 100. Okay, let us analyze the flow of this program or the sequence of this program. Always we start from this main, and this is the first statement inside main, right? Printf percentage d backslash n foo of 10. Automatically, the control will be redirected to this foo. This is the phase of foo, and the value which is passed here is what? 10, right? The value for x will be 10. So return x times x. So once we return this x times x, automatically the value 10 times 10, which is 100, is returned back to the calling program, right? So this thing, this foo10, entire foo10 will be replaced with the value returned from the function. What is the value returned from the function? It is 10 times 10, which is actually 100. So this thing will be replaced with 100, and printf uh, percentage d backslash and 100 will actually print a 100 here. That is for sure. But my question is whether this statement will be executed or not. Printf function over whether this statement going to be executed. The rule is that once in a function, if the return statement is encountered, once the return statement is encountered, no other statement is going to be executed after that. That means the return statement will be the final statement of a function execution. After that, no other statement is going to be executed at all. So the answer will be simply 100, and this thing, that is printf function over, this is not going to be executed in any case. So do you understand that? So normally when you compile this program, the compiler will show an error like this is an unreachable code. This particular thing is unreachable. Unreachable means the control flow of the program or the execution flow of the program is not going to meet this statement in any case. That is because once it encounters the return statement, once the return statement is encountered, uh, it is not going to execute any other statement in that function. And now you may understand in the case of in main, if you are writing this in main, you have a lot of statements here, and only at the end you will type or you will provide the return zero statement. That is because once it encounters this return statement, it is not going to execute any other statement in that function at all. So do you understand this concept? Let me check your comments. Oh, network connection loss.